Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is a middle aged man wearing his favorite pullover hoodie that he got as a gift from his roommate. It glows in the dark and it has a pouch, similar to a kangaroo. You know, pounces around everywhere. Is it pounce or bounce? I'm not quite sure. Nonetheless, my name is Albert. This is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your Wednesday night to join me. I really do appreciate it. I hope that y'all are really safe and just kind of chilling, you feel me? And not yelling at your phone that's broken and disconnected in your room in an apartment just trying to do your thing, you feel me? That's what's happening right now. I'm trying to shoot this video and I wish I could explain what's happening. I think the worst thing about things that happen that cannot be explained are in and of themselves they can't be explained. So it's just that much more frustrating. Regardless, tonight I want to talk about apartments. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm 37 years old. In case you guys didn't know that, I always am saying it, like it's gonna make me any younger. Some people tell me that it looks like I'm just about to apply for AARP, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with going to the thrift store and having the ladies think that I'm 53 years old. I'm like, okay, it's enough for the senior discount. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's good to know that you think I'm 18 years older than I actually am. Anyways, my math could be wrong. I think it's 16. Anyways, I hope that you guys are doing good. And I want to talk about apartments because, and I just started talking about my age, and there goes the camera again. I see it when it's played back to me. Anyways, it bothers me, and I wish I could explain it more, but I can't. So let's keep talking about apartments. When I was a kid, I grew up. My parents, right? So my mom was 16 when she had me. My father was 15 years old. So they were, I guess, legally children. So for the first 3 years of my life, I lived with my mother at her house. And ironically enough, my grandpa still lives in that house. He's still alive. Shout out to my grandpa, who still lives in the same house that he let me live in the first 3 years of my life. So thanks, Grandpa. I really appreciate that. But nonetheless, after that, when my parents were 18, and then just a couple years after that, they got married and stuff. But we moved into my grandma's house, my other grandma's house, my dad's mom's house, and that was my bestie. She just passed away 2 years ago now on my birthday. And so, God bless her soul. We used to play bingo every single night, and she was my best friend. So, shout out to my grandma, who's up there in heaven playing bingo, drinking coffee, and smoking cigarettes. Menthol. Hopefully, Salem's again, because maybe, my grandpa's up there with her, so she can afford them now. She had to go to Pall Mall 100s. That's a downgrade. Nonetheless, I guess in her perspective, okay? Let's not get all weird. Smoking is bad for you. Just trying to make a joke. Holy potatoes. Anyways, so, we lived with my grandma, and then my grandpa bought my parents their first house. So, I was able to grow up in a house with my parents, and regardless, up until about the age of 12. So I grew up in a house, and then after that, I moved around like 80 times, but most often in different houses. So I didn't ever really have a perspective from living in an apartment. And I guess in retrospect, an apartment would probably have been the best for my family circumstance at that particular time. But like when I was a kid, my parents didn't even ever talk about like apartments or whatever. So I had to bring all that up and I had to preface it because my history with apartments is limited, right? I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, relatively small place in a really small community where there's mostly homes in that community, like single family homes, and there's not a lot of apartments around. And the apartments that were around were like low income, you feel me? And they were there and next to places like literal federal facilities that would be there to help guide people through different phases in their lives and stuff. Huge advocate, by the way, for Job Corps, which is still there right down the street from where I grew up. So, yeah, two of my favorite places, Allsubs and Job Corps, just because it's had such a significant impact in my particular community as it's produced thousands of graduates in both vocational and technical training, and I think that's a really important part of the economy and really stable part for careers and things. But nonetheless, that was kind of my history with apartments, and all not to mention that Albuquerque, in and of itself, there wasn't a lot of apartments growing up around here. You feel me? So like, even my friends didn't live in apartments, and so now that I'm an adult and I've done an extensive amount of traveling, I've had different friends and I've had different relationships and stuff, and so I've been able to like see different apartments, and I live in an apartment now, and so I think living in an apartment is different. You feel me? The other day, I was walking down, my roommate and I were helping our neighbor like take a mattress downstairs, you feel me? And we encountered this Karen, and it was like this whole type of thing, and it just made me realize that like apartments are like adventures. You open your door and you never really know what's gonna happen. Like, it's just, you can't predict it. I mean, life is fairly predictable in some instances, but apartments just make life that much more spontaneous because you can walk out of your door and you can encounter somebody you've never seen before, somebody you've never met, or you can see the same people, obviously say what's up, be cordial, be a good neighbor. Oh my goodness. I'm glad that I learned how to be a good neighbor growing up in and out of different single family homes or whatever, just because that was one thing. Like, we were always cool with our neighbors, you feel me? Like, all the time. Like, the neighbors were always cool. I'm the oldest of five, and my sister passed away, one of us, so four of us were growing up in the home, and, all the neighbors were very cool to my parents, being young parents in retrospect, and then to their whole family, my siblings and myself. So I kind of had a really good experience with neighbors, and it's transferred on over to apartments, and I kind of don't understand why people don't, vibe on their neighbors as much as they probably should, as it concerns just the overall sanctity of community and stuff like that. But anyways, so like, apartments are interesting, right? You feel me? I mean, and again, a lot of people that grew up in densely populated places, obviously a lot on the East Coast and stuff. I mean, apartments are a part of the fabric, like, of where people live and everything. You feel me? So it's not unheard of, to grow up in an apartment, like in a high rise or somewhere in a big city or something like that. You know what I mean? So like, different experiences for different people. But I think it's funny that apartments can provide so much entertainment within the social realm of life in and of itself. I just think it's really interesting. I mean, um, and it's kind of interesting too, because like, as much as you need to vibe and be cool with your neighbors, you also don't want to like, I think it'd be kind of weird to just like, like, I don't know, like, bestie, maybe, sure, you have your own apartment, but like, I'm just saying it can be a little much, you feel me? Because of the closeness that everyone's living in. I mean, there's like 8 different lives going on all around me in different directions within throwing distance of like a 5 year old. Like the distance a 5 year old can typically throw something is the amount of distance that covers the space between the 8 people and myself as I speak to you now. You know what I mean? But so I feel like apartments are something that everyone should experience. Single family homes are great, obviously, especially for families, but then I also feel like it offers a layer of like, it provides a layer of like this isolation too, that like does the opposite of what socializing should be doing for families and things. And I think that's unfortunate. That's the unfortunate part about living in a single family home and not in an apartment. I most recently dated a woman who lived in this really fancy gated community, where no one knew anybody and everyone was about as sus as, I mean, I don't know. It was like the weirdest thing. Suburbs are weird. Weird people live in suburbs, okay? That's all that I'm saying. And the one cool person that does live in the burbs is never home because they're like, actively having a positive, healthy social life or isolating, whatever they got to do. I'm just saying it's healthy for them. And I just think that being in an apartment has provided a different experience for me. And it's about time for our show to wrap up now. So my name is Albert. I'm just kidding. I won't end it on a quick note like that. But I do hope that you guys are well. You feel me? This is the second vlog for today. Usually we do four. I've done four for a long time, and I've chosen now to just do one, right? And I've said publicly it's because like I'm trying to like figure some things out, not be unemployed, figure out what I'm doing with my life, try to do something, all those fun existential things that are required of a person to be a fully functioning adult, which is, I guess, where I'm headed, fully functioning adult. And FFA. But so I do appreciate all the new subscribers, all the people that take the time out of their day, like I do, when I open each video. Their videos aren't scripted, they're all improv, and it's really nice to meet you guys. You feel me? Seriously. I know some of us have known each other for a long time, and some of us mostly don't get to know me until later on in the future, at which point you probably think I'm really weird, or you vibe on the wagon. You feel me? Come vibe on the wagon. I don't know, that's not even a saying. Anyways, I hope that you guys do really well, seriously, like, in all the things that you want in life, and that you accomplish all of your dreams, and that you don't give up, and that you remain persistent, and that you put in the kind of work that's required to make your dream come true. And I think that's just being consistent and having a good attitude. I think if you got those two things, you can go anywhere. So hopefully what I say has some truth to it, because I'd like to go somewhere. Maybe I'd like to have a job at some point in my life. Maybe I would like to be financially mobile. All of these different things, I guess, that I'm now having to do because I'm an old man. So hope that you guys are doing good, and I'm doing okay. So just making these videos, trying my best to provide you guys with the kind of entertainment that I'd like to, and so that's all. I wish we could just talk for hours. I would, we could just sit here and I could just talk to myself and then post a video and, see how that goes or whatever. But essentially, that's already what I do. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a really good night. Bye.